Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we're playing some more Golgari Food Pest. This deck list is by James Trafaz, or you might know them as True Name Nemesis on MTGO. They're one of the main Food Pestilence pilots, and generally have very good results with it. Obviously, getting top 8 in a 1,000-person tournament is absolutely fantastic. So this looks pretty similar to a lot of the other Pestilence decks around at this point, but obviously with some minor differences. So we're playing 3 Pestilence as our main win cons or finishers or board wipes, whatever you want to call it. For other removal, we have 4 Cast Down, a 1 of Go for the Throat, and a 1 of Snuff Out. We're also playing 2 Tithing Blades to be able to catch Bogles or Terrors or anything like that. And also a 1 of Heritage Reclamation in the main deck, which I really like. I think this card is not seeing enough play in the format. Definitely a really good card right now, with all the affinity running around, and obviously hitting graveyards is always great. We have 3 Cauldron Familiars, as well as a food package to support that, Nutrient Blocks, Lembas, and 2 Heaped Harvest. We're playing a couple Ichor Wellsprings as some card draw, which we can sacrifice to our Eviscerator's Insights and our Fanatical Offerings. We have 3 Campfire to keep our life total high, and 2 Nile Spellbombs to blow up our opponent's graveyards. Then our mana base, we have 3 Troll of Khazad-dûm, which can search up a swamp or our Haunted Mire. We have 2 Golgari Rot Farms, which can pick up our Colony Gardens or our Bojuka Bogs for extra value. Then in our sideboard, we have another Snuff Out, 2 Fairy Macabres, 2 Giant Sorrow, 2 Tragic Slip, 4 Weather the Storm, 2 Troublemaker Roof, and 2 Moment's Peace. So let's take this for a league and see how we do. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. I've written a comprehensive guide on how to play White Weenie in Pauper, including my ideal stock list, over 30 sideboard matchups, and a sideboard cheat sheet, which gives you a very easy snapshot view and what to sideboard for every single matchup. I also have guides for Black Sack and Esper Affinity. Each guide is only $15, and if you buy one, you will get all future updates that I ever make to that guide for free. I also offer coaching, so if you're interested in upping your Pauper game for any of the decks that I'm very proficient in, or if you're interested in having me play your deck in a future video, you can do a deck donation, which is the only way you'll ever see me playing Cycle Storm or Flickertron. Alright, we have enough lands, some good utility. I believe Vinny Torres plays red, so Campfire can be really good if it is Mono Red Madness. Bojuka Bog and Nile Spellbomb will have some utility as well as Cast Down. If they're on Rally, then all of those lose a lot of effectiveness except for the Campfire. Percussionist makes it seem like it's probably Rally, so not fantastic. Nutrient Block. I think we'll just Bojuka Bog so that I can have 2 mana next turn. I'll probably just play Campfire and start activating. Synthesizer right away. Does seem like it might be a little desperate to find a land. Hits a Chain Lightning. Swing for 1. Yep, no land drop. Alright, well, we are just going to Campfire and start using it. Since we don't care about Bog in this matchup, we're just going to Rot Farm, pick up our Swamp. They have an Epicure. We'll gain 2 life, and they'll swing for 1. We get a Troll of Khazad-dûm, so we'll just play a Nutrient Block, Rot Farm back our Swamp, pass the turn. They swing for 2. And just bolt us. We're going to continue campfiring, trying to stay at a healthy life total. Eviscerator's Insight. I probably just want to crack the Nutrient Block to gain life. Activate Campfire, which means I'll play Swamp and a Spellbomb here. Spellbomb, since Graveyard doesn't matter, will just be to gain card advantage within Eviscerator's Insight, probably. They do find their second land drop, but no rally or anything. Makes it feel like they probably just have a bunch of burn in hand. We're just going to stay at a healthy life total, go back up to 20 here. Pestilence, pretty good. If they do get enough creatures, we take 2. And they do have the Burning Tree Emissary into a Ren's Resolve. Hits another Emissary and a Great Furnace. So I want to set this up probably so I can Pestilence for 2 next turn, which could simply be through Golgari Rot Farming back a Swamp this turn. So I probably then want to Campfire and Eviscerator's Insight the Spellbomb. I guess I can leave up Cast Down if I really need to prevent some damage. But yeah, let's Campfire here, go for a Rot Farm on the Swamp, pass. This is a matchup where as long as we run them out of cards and have enough life, we'll probably just win the game. So I don't necessarily need to hold Pestilence to be the win con as much as use it as a big board wipe and then gain a bunch of life with Campfires and food, and we should be fine then. They do have a Burning Tree and a Great Furnace. If they have like a Bushwhacker or a Rally, we can take a lot here, but if not, looks like we might only take like 4, in which case we're not too worried about anything. Especially because they might just crack the Synth with that mana. No, they do have the Bushwhacker. Okay. So that's 6, 12. I could prevent 3 of it with a Cast Down and then just crack Spellbomb. That way we're taking 9 down to 11. Because I'm going to still Pestilence and wipe the board for 2, which means I'm going to go down to 9. So if I go down to 6, it's easier for me to get double bolted. So I think I should Cast Down here, take the damage, Spellbomb them to draw a card in case we get anything relevant here. I could also Pestilence for just 1, not killing the Burning Tree, and then I get to Campfire, but that's the same amount of damage either way, so it probably doesn't matter. I could just Lembas here. Like, we're taking 5, but if I Lembas and Campfire, that offsets the 5. So I don't have to Pestilence, but if they have like more creatures, it's worse. Well, we have to hope their last 3 cards aren't like Galvanic Blast and Lightning Bolts, but I think we're going to Pestilence here. They could hit them in their upkeep, but then they could like Bushwhacker or Rally afterwards. Plus they would know about the Percussionist. Like what that's going to give them, so I might as well just do it now. We do want to do it on their turn, so that if they play any creatures, the Pestilence survives. This is something I didn't do in a previous video, and understandably I got some comments about it. Yeah, Pestilence again. We're down to 9. I guess by campfiring, I would have stayed 1 life higher because I wouldn't have had to Pestilence ourselves, so maybe it would have mattered, but they Ren's Resolve into Experimental Synth Rally, so I don't think we're dead here. They do Galvanic Blast us, so I guess I could be speaking too soon. They have another Blast and then a Fire Blast, Lightning Bolt. Pestilence dies. Alright, not dead, and we actually get another Campfire. So Campfire, Lembus puts us up 7 to 9. That's pretty healthy. So let's Lembus, crack the Lembus, because I know I want to anyway. We'll keep a Lembus, play a Campfire, activate Campfire. I don't think there's a reason to not just activate both. Now with double Campfire, if we don't die this turn, I think this might be the last turn that we're really in danger. They Synth into a Mountain. Like even they could Rally Bushwhacker. I'll go to 3. So again, they would need a Fire Blast. If they don't have it, Campfires plus Lembus probably keeps us alive. I guess they could also just Lightning Bolt, Galvanic Blast, but looks like they don't have that either, so I think we can probably pull ahead here with another Lembus, sack that right away, go up to 10, don't need a Bog, Nutrient Block, so I can play a Garden, play a Nutrient Block, and just pass. They have a Burning Tree Emissary, probably into a Synth, hits a Galvanic Blast. They're going to blast us. Let's use our Campfires in response, just in case. I could block with a plant, although I could block 2 with the plant next turn, so I think I'd probably just keep it. Plus I could then sack it. We get a Swamp, so that's enough to play a Troll and activate Campfires twice. I think that's probably worthwhile. This makes their attacks really rough and also gives us a way to start attacking them for damage. I use 1 Campfire because we know we're going to, but I left up the other one because theoretically if they had like enough damage I would want to sack the Nutrient Block instead of the Campfire because it's 1 more life. Not sure that's going to happen, but they Ren's Resolve into Double Mountain. That's pretty good for us. Sack a Synth to a Chain Lightning. Throw that at us. So we block, we're taking 2, 3, so they would need something pretty good to kill us here, something that deals like 7, so I think I can just Campfire safely, do attack, and we'll block, get another Lembus. I could play another Troll here, but since we get a Lembus, I think I can just play that, crack, guess we'll keep a Fanatical Offering, play a Wellspring here, Pestilence, so we'll cycle Troll as well. For a Swamp, activate Campfire and pass. They have a Synth, that's probably their best draw with so much mana on board. Hits Great Furnace, crack Synth right away, hit a Mountain. Definitely a little unlucky with their impulses here. Block the Samurai, activate Campfire, we go to 10. We will Offering the Wellspring, draw a bunch. We get a Bajuka Bog, and I'm going to swing, because we're just going to play a Pestilence, wipe their board, and we should be good from there. We'll activate our Campfire, pass to them. They go to attacks, we'll Pestilence for 2. We're down to 12. With 2 cards left, they need to be able to deal us 12, which is pretty impossible. So we take that game, we get Drown in Sorrow, Weather the Storm, Troublemaker Oof, and maybe even Moment's Peace, but let's see what we want to cut. Definitely Snuff Out, and honestly most of our cast downs. Spell Bombs. Heritage Reclamation is not great here. Troublemaker Oof also hits an artifact, which can be nice. Also, Exiling like a Clockwork can be really good, but it's also just a 2/2, which is part of why we want it. It's just a blocker. Heaped Harvest is expensive, so maybe Moment's Peace over the Harvest. Oh, Tithing Blade's not very good either. Any of our single target removal, although maybe like Tragic Slip being 1 mana is at least decent. At least it's not 2 mana. Sure, we'll try that. Well, we have a lot of sideboard cards, no green mana, but I do get to go Cauldron Familiar into Fanatical Offering. I think we'll keep it based off of that. Might not be good enough, but if we can get green mana, we just have a lot of stuff going on for us. Plus Familiar is good because it gains a little bit of life. It can ping their guys, or trade for their guys rather. Although here I probably just want to Fanatical, so I probably don't want to chump this turn, which is nice because they Ren's Resolve Rally, so I'll probably chump the Burning Tree next turn. Campfire is good, but I think we need to make sure we're hitting our land drops, so let's pass this for now. They get a Rally, Chump Block, and Offering the Cat. Alright, we get a land drop, plus we get our Troll, which can be green in 2 turns. They're going to bolt us. We could be too slow. If I cycle this for green now, I only have 1 mana to play with, so I'm going to play a Familiar, because that's the best way to gain life, and Chump block. I mean, I think we're okay if we just don't die this turn. They could obviously have like Bushwhacker, Bolt, Fire Blast, and we could die. But if we don't die, then next turn we could like Campfire, Nutrient Block, Weather the Storm for 9. I think we're just chumping for that reason. Well, what's the difference? We would go to 11 versus 10. 10 is dead to Bolt, Fire Blast. I think I'd rather block a 1/1, but obviously we're going to regret it if we die because we're at 10. They ditch a Mountain. Relic of Progenitus. Oh, that's pretty good too, getting rid of 2 cats. But we're not dead, and I think we're in a pretty good spot now. I could Campfire, Nutrient Block, Weather for 9, then we take 4, or I could just Campfire for 2 and then Moment's Peace. Plus, if they have a lot of things to cast, I can actually Weather the Storm. I think that's a little better. Losing the cats is a little annoying because our Nutrient Block is more expensive to get value out of now, and obviously we don't have a blocker. That's okay. So like if they synth into a bunch of spells, Weather the Storm could be good here. They Galvanic Blast. We know they're going to cast that, which means this is already gaining us at least 9. So I think I'll wait on on Moment's Peace. They're going to Galvanic, and I'm going to Weather in response, because if I let it go, they might not cast anything else, and then maybe they have a way to kill us. But 9 off of Weather is never bad. Now we get to just Drown in Sorrow instead of holding up the Moment's Peace for now. I think that's probably better. Ooh, yeah, we'll keep the last cat. Pachuca Bog them, pass the turn. They're going to Galvanic Blast us on the end step. Smash to Smithereens the Campfire. Okay, that's pretty good. We'll gain 2 first. Nutrient Block. Familiar. Obviously could Weather for just 9, but I think we can just wait on it. Let's map here. And they Galvanic Blast. So that actually made it so that I can Weather for 4, or 12 life rather. So let's do that. So we lost a map, which could be relevant for like a Fanatical Offering, but we made them use a Galvanic and got an extra 3 life out of it. Seems pretty good. They're going to crack the Synth. Hits a Lightning Bolt, which they can't cast. And I guess I don't need to bring back Familiar this moment. Heaped Harvest. Hey, there we go. Let's do that. Search up a swamp, and I guess we crack the Nutrient Blocks. If I draw a land or something, I might want to play it. But it can actually just be more chump blocks with the Cauldron Familiar. So let's just wait. No rush. We're at 25 here. Feeling pretty good. But we don't have a ton of card draw. We definitely could still lose if they draw a lot better than we do. I think we might as well sack the Harvest so we have as much mana as possible in case we get Pestilence, Eviscerator's Insight, a number of different things. And then by chump blocking, I also give myself the ability to draw another card with the Nutrient Block for free. Though I guess I could just do it for 2 mana now, but whatever. They have a Gorilla Shaman. Okay, well, it doesn't really do much right now. We get the Fanatical Offering, so let's sack the Nutrient Block to the Familiar. Another Offering. This is exactly what we want. I could just Offering now. It's not bad, but since I have another Offering, I know I'm probably going to spend this turn just spinning my wheels drawing cards. I might as well get a chump block in too, I think. I miss a land drop this turn, but that's probably... Or if they want to bolt it, that's also fine. We'll use up their Blast. Sack that. And I guess I'll go for another Offering here, because if we hit a Weather the Storm, I'd rather use it now. Okay. And if not, that's fine. They are going to eat the map. That's fair. Can't do anything about that. But we have a bunch of artifacts in hand that we don't care if they blow up. I'm not going to Moment's Peace unless they go for like a Bushwhacker or something, I don't think. 3 damage is not that big of a deal. They synth into a mountain. We'll take 3. Sack the synth. They hit a Bushwhacker now, but they didn't have the mana to kick it anyway. Obviously now Drown in Sorrow is probably our best hit. Or Pestilence would do the work too. Alright, we just get Pestilence. So I was going to troll here, but I think we might as well just cycle it now that we have the Pestilence. And then pass to their turn. Go to their combat so they can't get any more haste guys. We will wipe the board. They can't play anything else this turn unless they want Pestilence to survive. And we have 1 mana. We are a lot higher than life total than them, but there's no reason for us to ping since they are a burn deck. Another Moment's Peace. Let's go for a Wellspring here. Wellspring. Fanatical Offering, Colony Garden, Nutrient Block, pass the turn. Alright, and we take the first match. We have a lot of lands, but good utility, plus some decent other cards, and we're a deck that wants a lot of lands, so don't think we're throwing this back. Obviously, we wouldn't probably keep a 7-lander, but 5 lands, Troll being able to not be a land if it needs to be, with some other utility seems good. They're on Dimir Terror. Instantly milling a Gurmag is good for us. Unexpected Fangs is not super relevant in this matchup, but we do have a lot of kill spells for them. I kind of want to Rot Farm, so I'd probably just Nutrient Block. Don't really care if it gets Spell Pierced. That's fine. And then we get to Rot Farm back the garden. Now we can just start playing tap lands, holding up our cast downs or draw spells. Mental Note, it's a Lorien for 5. So they could play a 2-mana Terror here. They snuff out the plant token. Honestly, not a terrible idea just because, well, it lets them get their terror down, but also I'm not going to have any other targets for the Snuff Out. Tithing Blade obviously would have been our best draw. Heaped Harvest is interesting. Obviously I can Colony Garden, Chump Block, Fanatical Offering. Heaped Harvest ramps us, and then I take 1 hit from the terror. But the next turn we have 4 mana, and I could potentially cast down if I really want. I could double Fanatical. I think we're going to take the time off and go for the Harvest. Get a Swamp. They also miss a land drop, which is pretty good for us. Looks like they might have Abandoned Attachments. Can't do anything about that. We'll see if they have the Snacker. They don't. Discarding a Snuff Out. Just looking for that land. They don't have it, so I could just cast down the Terror if I'm that worried about it. Or I could just sack our Harvest, gain more mana, draw cards, and then Garden, block, Eviscerator's Insight. I think that's what we'll do. Sack this, look for a Swamp. And we find a Tithing Blade. Okay, so we can pivot. Tithing Blade the Terror. I didn't want to spend the 4 mana on the cast down if I didn't have to, but the Tithing Blade is obviously a fantastic draw. They Brainstorm and Mental Note away a Snacker and another Snuff Out. Still no lands is crazy. I mean, they've milled 3 Snuff Outs / used them. If they're running a list similar to the ones at Pauper, they probably only have a couple cast downs. I could just run out a Troll here. They might not be able to deal with it. Even if they can, it takes their whole turn. I think that might just be our best bet. Especially with 2 of them. If they cast down and then I play another Troll, like what are they going to do about it? I could spin my wheels drawing cards and I think we'd probably win that game too, but I think the Trolls can maybe just finish this up pretty quick here. They do cast down, and they could Terror since they hit their land drop, but they don't have it. So here's another Troll. Pass the turn. They Thought Scour themselves, mill their last Snuff Out and a Terror. Another cast down. We'll go for an Eviscerator's Insight. Using this one because if they counter it, which I think they might, then I don't lose the map token at least. I can get that later. Campfire. Let's go for Heaped Harvest. I mean, our game plan of double Troll, like, obviously didn't work out to, like, kill them, but they also just had to spend a bunch of resources doing that. Not really in a terrible spot either way. Let's sack the Heaped Harvest. We have 1,000,000 mana and a good amount of cards too. Play a Campfire and pass. A Thought Scour. We haven't hit a single Bojuka Bog or Nile Spellbomb. Obviously those would be very good for us. They just cast a Snacker, play an Aquifer, pass. Let's draw 2. Lembas. I'm looking for some sort of graveyard hate, because if I can blow up their graveyard, I think we basically win. Offering the Plant. There's a Spell Bomb. We'll see if it resolves. It does immediately. Let's cast down the Snacker and just pass to them and then blow up the Spell Bomb in their upkeep. So if they have like a Brainstorm or something, they could get the Snackers back, but at least they are not attacking this turn. Alright, now feeling incredibly ahead. Obviously already quite a bit ahead, but now it just feels like not sure how they get out of this. They do get a Lorien, which is decent. We'll Campfire, play a Swamp. I could play a Pestilence. Currently, I don't think we've hit a cat either, so I don't have a way to necessarily keep the Pestilence alive if they kill our plant. So maybe just wait on that. Let's play Wellspring. Lembas. Don't really need a cast down. Nutrient Block. And we'll flip our Tithing Blade off a Troll here. Pass to them. They have a Murmuring Mystic, and we will crack a Nutrient Block. Draw a card, drain them. Bojuka Bog. We'll cast a Snuff Out on the Mystic. Probably do this in their upkeep, but it kind of depends on if I want to do anything else, like playing a Pestilence. They counterspell. We'll cast down, and Eviscerator's Insight this plant. Bojuka Bog them. Pass the turn. We can deal with 1 bird being on the field for now. Abandon Attachments. Discards a Snacker. We'll take 1. Play another Snacker. Campfire. Drain for 1. Play a Troll of Khazad-dûm. See if they want to counter that. They don't. We'll play a Pestilence. See if they want to counter that. They do not. I'm going to activate it now because I want to Bojuka Bog their Snackers away. They have the Brainstorm. Generally would be pretty good, although I can just Pestilence them again to put the Snackers right back in the grave. So let their triggers resolve. Before the Bojuka Bog does, Pestilence once more. Still gets exiled. We'll pass the turn. They have a Brainstorm. Cycle a Lorien. Brainstorm again. Looking for something to cast. Mental Note. Hits 2 lands. Consider. And they concede. Alright, so Fairy Macabre is good against Snackers. Tragic Slip is probably better than Snuff Out just because it doesn't hit Gurmags or Snackers. Reclamation is good if it exiles 1 Snacker, or even just a random spell and then draws a card. Spellbomb's obviously fantastic. Not a matchup where we have a ton to side out, actually. Everything feels pretty good. Maybe we don't need the Tragic Slips just because we have so many cast downs and stuff anyway. They do have Mystics, and Mystics are good against Snuff Out, or rather the other way around. Snuff Out's good against Mystics. Maybe we'll leave out the Tragic Slips, and Heaped Harvest is just a little more expensive, so if it gets countered, it's a little awkward. Maybe we don't need 3 Campfires in this matchup. Campfire is really good. I know there's some people who think Campfire you never take out no matter what, just because it's good if you're gonna go late and mill out, and it's good if you're gonna go early and like there's a lot of damage, but this is kind of in between. Maybe we'll leave in the Heaped Harvest for 1 Campfire. Double Spellbomb is really tempting, plus Cauldron Familiar, but I think I just need more lands. Yeah, this one's a little better with the Troll. Not really sure what I want to put back. Probably the Familiar, but we do want to have one. Could be Tithing Blade over Cast Down, I guess, that we keep. Maybe that's decent. I don't know. Do I just want to cycle Troll now that we got the Rot Farm? Probably just Familiar. The next turn I'll Nutrient Block when we play the Rot Farm. They Thought Scour 2 Ice Tunnels. Rough luck for them, for sure. Aquifer and Pass. Well, they might have the Spell Piercer and Null for Nutrient Block. In which case I don't have to play it right now. It doesn't do much. Maybe I just cycle Troll with the mana and then Rot Farm. It's probably fine. Galorian. Like, there's not really a reason to give Spell Pierce any value here if I can play around it. They're gonna just cast a Snacker. Well, we just drew the Macabre. I wasn't gonna Tithing Blade, and I probably still won't, but Macabre makes it better, minorly. We'll attack and just play a Nutrient Block. Pass. Swing for 2. Don't really want the Offering to get countered here, so let's just not let it. Bog is decent. I'll just play a Swamp. I think I could just be patient. I don't really need to do anything. They Brainstorm. Play an Island. Swing for 2. Alright, I'll go for an Offering now on the Familiar. I'm at least playing around Spell Pierce. If they just counterspell, that's fine. Yeah. I still get to Familiar the block here. I'm going to do it on the end step because if I drew another Fanatical Offering, I might want to use that right away on the Familiar. Cast down. Plus I get to attack here. Let's cast Spell Bomb, see if they counter that. Yup, they got the Annul for it. I'll cast down Snacker. I only have 2 cards left. If these are eating up counterspells, that's fine, but I have a Bog, and if they do have like a Brainstorm, I can Fairy Macabre. I'd rather not, but I can if I need to. They consider, if they find a Brainstorm, then they can still try to get the Snacker back. Bin Abandoned Attachments. Yeah. By doing it that way, they lost both the Consider and the Abandoned Attachments, which they could have otherwise put into their graveyard. Mental Note hits 2 spells. They have Alorian Revealed. Pretty good for them, actually, because we're at pretty close to parity. If I get some card draw, I might pull ahead here, but if not, definitely pretty even. I don't hate my spot by any means, but if they get enough cards, they could do some work. I don't think Fairy Macabre 2 spells in their grave does enough. I mean, technically it could keep them off of double terror, although not anymore. Well, it could still, because they'd be 4 mana, but I think it's fine. Abandoned Attachments. There's the Snacker. That's what I'm saving my Fairy for. For their Fairy. Brainstorm. They have a Terror and a Gurmag, it looks like. If they don't have an Annul, we get to Tithing Blade away the Gurmag. Oh, they have a Spell Bomb. Okay, so they are tapped out. So I wouldn't mind like a cast down, kill the Gurmag, then Tithing the Terror. Heaped Harvest is not bad. Makes this Pestilence better later on. Plus we have the Cat to chump and sack it right away. I will still just Tithing Blade them. They actually kept the Gurmag. Maybe because it dodges Snuff Out, but that's like the only reason, and it doesn't dodge anything else as well, so that's interesting. I'll chump. I guess they have the Spell Bomb, so I can't actually like use this proactively, but if they try to Spell Bomb us, like bring it back now. They have a Mystic. Well, it might be the turn to try to just land Pestilence. If it doesn't get countered, then I can deal 5 to everything the next turn. Yeah, I think we go for it. If it gets countered, it's, puts us in a rough spot. If they don't have the counter spell, they could think about cracking the Spell Bomb, because this Pestilence could be really bad for them. They could crack the Spell Bomb and hope for an Annul, but they didn't do that. I think I'm just going to Wellspring, because I'm not actually going to need to Pestilence this turn for much. They have the Spell Pierce. Obviously, that's why I played Pestilence first, but also I wanted to play around that in general, but so be it. It's not that big of a deal. I can obviously kill the bird, and they're going to Mental Note. Yeah, so I can kill all the birds. Hits a Snacker. I mean, we're going to chump the Gurmag and then Pestilence for 1, because I'm actually losing less life this way, and I kill their birds and hit them for 1. Another Spell Bomb means they're going to be able to get the Familiar if they want to. Although with only 1 black mana, they're not going to be able to draw 2 cards, just 1, so it's not total disadvantage. Tithing is good. Follow-up. I think I just Pestilence for 5 in their upkeep. I'm trying to think if there's a reason to wait. If I wait and if they kept Unexpected Fangs in, I could get got by that, and obviously we don't want that. If they kept it in, they could have it as their last card and I get got pretty bad, but if they kept it in but it's not in hand, then they could draw it, so this is a reason to do it in their upkeep, and that worked. I could pay 2 to just sack the Heaped Harvest, but we can just do that for free with the Cauldron Familiar even if it doesn't return to the field, so not really a reason to do that. Pestilence is going to go away. We get a Lembus. Cast that. This would be a second food, so they have to do, unless they want to counter it, which is fine. They would have to double Spellbomb in response. Alright, well, we'll just flip the Tithing Blade since they haven't cracked yet. I can exile this Fairy Macabre. And, I mean, we have them on a 7-turn clock. Considering the fact that we both are a little low on resources, this could be pretty relevant. And we have a Tithing Blade for their first creature. They're going to Spellbomb now. I feel like they should have probably Spellbombed on the end step so that they could have paid the mana then. I'm going to crack this because I get a land out of it, and I force them to use their other Spellbomb, so they use 2 on just 1 cat. Plus, again, they don't draw the second card, so decent value for us even if we don't get Familiar back. And now we're hoping they don't have anything, obviously, but if they have 1 terror, it's fine, as long as they don't have a counterspell or a Brainstorm to get back their Snacker. I can Tithing Blade it away. Nutrient Block. I'll just cast that, because if they have an Annul, they might use it since it could be our last card, our last spell, and then they just don't want to lose it. But they didn't have anything. Terror does, in fact, die. We'll sack the Nutrient Block, just see if we get anything, and we'll play our land. And now, we'll see what they got. Nothing. Campfire is honestly not bad. The only way we could lose here was probably if they got like a Terror and then just attacked us. We didn't get removal and they attack us, 5 turns in a row. But now with Campfire, that's going to make that pretty impossible. They do get Snacker back and a Lorien. Drain him for 1. We get a Nutrient Block, which we will crack right away. Honestly, just Bojuka Bog is not bad. It means that we don't really have to fear the Terrors or Gurmags, and this 1 Snacker is not going to kill us in time. I guess they could have like a Steel Sabotage to bounce the Sepulcher. That could be an out. I don't have any other creatures on the field or in our grave, otherwise obviously I'd flip the second Tithing. Let's Scour themselves. They're also at 7 cards left in their deck, so gonna mill out before they can get us. Swing for 2. They do have a Gurmag Angler. We just get a Swamp. I mean, if they have an Unexpected Fangs, that would keep them alive. If they have any way to get rid of the Sepulcher, maybe. Currently, they need to hit us 4 times, and with the Campfire, it's going to go up to 5 times. Currently, the Sepulcher is going to get them first, but they could have another creature, paying 7 mana for a Terror. I mean, this might be close now. I could actually lose here. That's a good draw, as long as it resolves. We got to go for it. Sacking the Tithing Blade. It does resolve, but we get 2 swamps? That's crazy. So 21, they hit us for 12. We go to 9, but then our turn we go up to 12, which means they could kill us next turn, and they are at 1. They mill us, which it's a Cauldron Familiar, but I don't have any food on the board. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna lose if I don't draw something here. That's pretty unfortunate. They have another Terror. Okay, well, if I draw a food that resolves, I can kill them with the Familiar. Colony Garden doesn't do it because it jumps and we take 12 and we're at 12. Can map onto this, but that doesn't even really matter because I don't know what I could hit. An Eviscerator's Insight, I guess. They have a cast down for it. I mean, I guess they win. They drew the right cards at the end. We drew fine for most of the game, I will say, but then we had a pocket of all lands and it was pretty bad. That's crazy. I mean, should I bring in a couple more removal spells? Because if we had more removal, we would have been okay. But obviously, depends on what we would have taken out. Campfire was still good there. It just right at the end didn't end up being good enough, but I don't think I want to cut all the Campfires. Maybe I shouldn't worry about the fairies as much because I get to just Pestilence them away. But they do make Tithings worse. I don't know, like maybe Heritage Reclamation and a Fairy Macabre aren't as worth it. Or, well, Heaped Harvest, I guess. Bring in those Tragic Eclipse. I don't know. I don't think there's anything I could have done differently to win that at the end there. But definitely going to be thinking about that for a little while. This hand's good. Well, we'll see if they have the Annul or Spell Pierce. They do. Ice Tunnel. Alright, we get the land anyway. It's all Nutrient Block so that if they have a Spell Pierce now, they can't catch it. If they annul it, then I get to Wellspring. So, not that big of a deal. They have attachments. Do you have the Snacker? So we'll get rid of that. And the attachments. Cauldron Familiar. We'll play Campfire. Then Familiar. Pass. They're just going to cast a Snacker, activate Campfire, swing for 1, did get our land drop, swing for 2, they have a Terror. They have Terror, unfortunately. Don't quite have enough mana to kill it here. Just going to Fanatical Offering the Wellspring now, so they can't counterspell it, because we could really use the card draw. They've already used 2 Annuls. Are they going to have a Spell Pierce for this Heaped Harvest? I don't get to use Campfire this turn, but I think it's fine. Yeah, that resolves. I'd really like the mana. Plus we get to chump with a Familiar and then sack the Harvest. A Thought Scour hits Spellbomb and a Mystic. Pretty good for us. Those are both whiffs as far as reducing their terrors and good cards that we don't have to deal with now. Swing with both. We'll chump the Terror. They have men and attachments, discarding a land, and looks like they have a Gurmag. Gurmag does die pretty easily to our things, though. We will ramp, bring back the Familiar. It's possible I should have left that in the graveyard so that I could Pestilence and have the guy to come back. That's the whole point of the deck. But I just don't feel like I have enough mana yet. I think I will just pass to their upkeep. Kill their Gurmag Angler, and then I can chump Fanatical Offering, which I'll do with the plant right now because I don't have a way to bring back the Familiar, and if they have like a Spell Bomb, I'd rather the Familiar be on the field. They do counter that, which is a little annoying. We'll take 2 from the Snacker. We have another Snacker. Only 1 card in hand though, so I might be able to resolve a Pestilence. I think we go for it. Of course, their last card is Counterspell. Maybe I did this wrong and I should have just tried to cast down the Terror, and then they Counterspell it, and then I get a Pestilence. Well, we get to Lembas. Land is fine, but I kind of need more action first. Well, I guess I'll get the swamp anyway. I'll chump now that I have the food. Activate Campfire. Rot Farm. Activate Campfire. Rot Farm back the garden. I'll cast down the Terror in the upkeep. Definitely think if I did this the other way, I would have been better. They probably would have counterspelled a cast down to keep their Terror around, and then the Pestilence resolves and I wipe everything. So yeah, it was just probably bad. Alright, killing Terror is good though. We're only taking 2 a turn with the Campfire offsetting their damage, so I'm not in too much of a rush. Brainstorm. They have a Lorien. They keep drawing those at the right times, though, I feel like. I need some card draw. Eviscerator's Insight? Nope. Guess I'll garden and map just to try to find something. Pestilence on top. Well, I guess I'll keep that. Don't really love that it's known by everybody now that I'm going to get it, but what are you going to do? Campfire, go to 16. Another Lorien revealed. Another Terror, which means they have to have a counterspell because they wouldn't just be running that out. But what am I going to do other than just try to play the Pestilence? I could hold it, but I don't feel like we can wait that long. I'm not going to have a way to... I don't have duresses, so I'm not going to have a way to get the Pestilence around to counterspell anyway, unless they use the counterspell for something else. Annul. I'll block the Terror here, just try to stave off the damage as long as possible. They draw every Lorien revealed into every Terror. Okay, I think we're going to lose, unfortunately. I can't believe we're losing this one. I'll block, go to 5. They have another Snacker. We get a Cauldron Familiar. They're going to cast down the Familiar. Bring this back. They probably have another cast down, and then I'll die. Oh, never mind, I get to block. Oh, it's Xaxes anyway. 11. Yeah, that second game was going super well, and then we just started to draw poorly for like 7 turns in a row, and then this one they had infinite counterspells, it felt like, and then drew all the Loriens at the exact right time. What are you gonna do? 1 land is not gonna cut it still. Alright, we'll get rid of Snuff Out and an Offering, I guess. A Nutrient Block and pass. Alright, we're against White Weenie, it looks like, which isn't necessarily a good matchup. Might be okay. Of course, we have a fair amount of removal, and we have some board wipes, which can all be really good, but they are also slow. Our individual removal isn't amazing. Yeah, if they do Leonardo us here, I get to just go for the throat, which is something. I'll probably just go for the throat on the Informant, though. Prismatic Strands also can be a little awkward with Pestilence, but not usually too bad because we can kind of play around it. Ooh, once again, I think we're just going to take an extra hit. They even discarded a plane, so we're only taking 2 from this Informant. But I think we really want to ramp here, so I can reliably play 2 drops next turn. Another Informant, discarding a planes. They do have the Leonardo this time, so we're going to take 5. Cauldron Familiar is pretty good because it chumps and then sacrifices the Heaped Harvest. Well, it chumps, gets sacrificed to the Fanatical Offering, then Heaped Harvest. It means we're actually not playing everything quite as efficient this turn, but I think it's fine. It's also a 1/1 that could trade with one of these guys, actually. Actually, I might do that, in which case I might just Offering the Harvest. If we hit an untapped land, I can also go for the Throat the Leonardo. If we don't hit an untapped land, it might be worse, but if they make Leonardo really big, I still can chump if I really need. I don't know. We do get the swamp. All right, perfect. That was really good. So yeah, since these are both 2/1s, I'll probably trade and then go for the Throat. Go for the Throat actually being a little better than Cast Down here, which couldn't hit a Leonardo. Lembas is good because if we only have 1 food for the Familiar and they try to Thraben Charm us, then they can actually catch us. More value is good, but I don't think we need that, seeing as we already have 1, plus offerings and stuff. Still haven't played a land, so I'm going to just Offering this Wellspring here. Garden is great. Lands for the next 3 turns, actually. They didn't do anything, even crack a clue on the end step. That must have been a mistake, I think. We will sack the Cauldron Familiar, or rather the Nutrient Block to the Familiar, trying to trade with this informant. And I think we just jump here so there's no second Leonardo, to be honest. They got nothing. Campfire's good. Play a nutrient block. They're missing land drops. I mean, they didn't crack their clue, so they wasted mana. Like, we're definitely pulling ahead here. Remember to crack a clue this time, and crack another, block with a plant, offering it, campfire, and we will insight a map, discard a prismatic strands, tithing blade their inspector, I get to Bajuka Bog away the strands, and yeah, I guess just pass for now. I don't have any creatures in the graveyard for the Tithing Blade except for the Familiar, which I'm obviously not going to use. Otherwise, I'd probably transform that. Play an Inspector. I will Eviscerator's Insight the map on the end step. Play Cauldron Familiar, Haunted Mire, and just pass. I do have a Pestilence, but they are a deck that actually has enchantment removal, so by playing it out, even though I could probably keep our Pestilence alive because of all our Familiars, they could just blow it up, so there's no reason to really play it out until it's doing a little more. Skyfisher, probably picking up a land here, just so they can get a little more mana. Indeed. Attack with the Inspector. I'm sure this is the best use, but I can bring back the Familiar and then double block. We get to kill an Inspector for more or less free. I think it's decent. If they have like a Thraben Charm to kill a Familiar, then I could like just cast down the Inspector. Yeah, we'll insight that cat first. Double Limbus. So do I even care if this Familiar dies? No. We will Eviscerator's Insight it as well. Campfire. Pass the turn to us. Play a Swamp. Limbus. Offering. Limbus. Cast down. Play a Spell Bomb. Just gonna cast down their two guys. We're just holding Pestilences for as long as possible so I can just kill them. And I'm casting down even the Inspector so there's no Leonardo that I have to worry about. But they concede. They were definitely miles behind. Moment's Peace seems good. Drown in Sorrow. Troublemaker, probably not. Fairy Macabre. They have graveyard stuff, but not really any that I care too much about. Tithing Blades are not great, and they're probably going to bring in some Dust Dusts, so even the back end is not as good. Maybe take out a Cast Down. We'll keep the Go for the Throat for the Leonardos, and maybe even some of the Cast Downs. Troublemaker Roof does block. If they have Journey, it gets that, although we don't really have creatures for Journey to be that relevant. Fairy Macabre blocks in the air. Just trying to see if there's anything else super relevant. I think we'll just try this though. Finally draw the Reclamation. This hand's not very good though. I mean, maybe Bajuka Bog catches something early, Campfire, but like double Familiar, no green. I don't think this is good enough. Now this is really awkward with like a lot of tap lands, but it's good enough. I think we'll keep. Guess we'll get rid of a Limbus. Well, no, I can probably find another cat later. I don't know. Tough call. We have to Bajuka Bog, then Troll. Since I got rid of the cat, unless I draw another one drop, probably just gets green mana. I mean, Drown can be really good depending on if they get a lot of Skyfishers or Leonardos. They just crack a clue. Always a good sign. We do get a 1-drop, but I'm not sure I care too much about the Campfire for now. Like, just playing it out doesn't do a lot, especially if I can't use it, and then maybe they revoke existence or use a Dust to Dust on it before I can even use it at all. So I think I'd rather just have my green mana, especially with Moment's Pieces in the deck. They didn't play anything, though. Does that mean they have no creatures? I gotta just go for lands, ideally. Well, Eviscerator's Insight is what I was getting regardless, apparently. Now they have the Battle Screech. So this is where drawing a Swamp and then just Drowning in Sorrow would be really good. Otherwise, okay, fantastic. Otherwise, I would probably have to leave up my 2 mana for Moment's Peace in case they had a board pump. So I can Moment's Peace them, but if nothing happened, I'd probably just Eviscerator's Insight, but getting the Swamp for the Drown is really good. Veteran, Idyllic Range. They might have another Battle Screech since they didn't have. Okay. I'm just wondering why they kept this hand when it seems pretty bad. I thought a reason was maybe multiple Battle Screeches, but we'll start with Olympus, trying to find more lands. Garden is good. Play that, and I guess we'll play a Nutrient Block. I am a little worried they might have the Dust to Dust, especially because, again, they kept this hand for some reason. Playing the Nutrient Block, I could lose a card that hasn't regained me a card, but I already have enough value. I'm really not that worried if they want to spend their turn casting Dust to Dust. Yeah, and they take the Lembuses anyway. That's probably better for us, since I don't really care that much about cycling them in this matchup, and this is yet to get us a card. They swing for 2, which we'll take, and an Informant. Discards another Informant. Grange for a counter. Heaped Harvest. The call of the Heaped Harvest is always tough to resist, but playing it now lets me play Campfire for no use. I don't think that's very good. I think we'll Campfire, hold up Insight on plant, also Moment's Peace if they like kill the plant, attack for a bunch. Play a Plains, block, and Eviscerator's Insight. Swamps are good. Activate Campfire, play a Swamp. Now I get to Heaped Harvest, get more Swamps. Pass the turn. 6 is a lot. Do I want to Moment's Peace this? I don't think. I mean, this isn't a burn deck. They have no burst potential, so I think I will not rather, except if they go for like a Guardian's Pledge, in which case I definitely will Moment's Peace. But if they weren't going to, then I think taking 6 was probably fine. Rot Farm is good. Let's Rot Farm back the garden and just Viscerator's Insight the harvest, I guess. Get another swamp. See what we draw. Fanatical. We'll pass. Against a white deck, you should probably try to use your Moment's Peace, the flashback as quickly as possible, because they very well might exile our graveyard here, which they do. Also, because we have 2 Viscerator's Insights in our graveyard that I can't use. This could be a time to Campfire, put our graveyard back into our deck, but I think it's probably fine. We have 1 more Moment's Peace. They only have 1 card in hand, now 2. We've Campfire to gain us life. We're taking a little bit here, but I will Fanatical Offering the block, because if I get like a cast down, maybe I want to just use that on the Informant as opposed to using Campfire this turn. But since we don't, we will take 6. We do have enough to Pestilence, wipe their board, plus play our own creatures so that Pestilence doesn't die. They could have a pump spell, that's why we're doing it now. They could have like a Prismatic Strands, but then we would just do this in response. So they're gonna Prismatic, but unless they have another Prismatic, I get to just deal another damage in response here, and another one, which wipes their board. They actually make it so we don't take the last damage, which is, I guess, nice for us. And let's play a Colony Garden, keep our Pestilence around. Unless they have a Thraben Charm, but then they have to use that too, and that's their last card, which they do. I mean, if they can, like, top deck a Battle Screech, Lunarch Veteran into Battle Screech, 5/1/1s with a Prismatic Strands backup, and we don't have a Pestilence, they could maybe get there. I think that's really what they need to have a chance, though, because without it, we get to continue gaining life here, and I think I'll just play a Troll, and then also I should probably play a Spellbomb so I can exile their graveyard. I was going to do the Familiar, but I think Spellbomb and then double Campfire is probably better here. Informant gets rid of a Plains. Inspector, Clue, we'll take 1, Campfire, we'll swing for 6, play a Cauldron Familiar, map onto our plant, get a Rot Farm, and we'll pass. There's the Battle Screech, flash it back, pretty good, no attacks. We are going to Offering a Plant, Offering a Map, we get a Heritage Reclamation, but I think I'd rather crack the Spellbomb because it's known to draw a card. You do need to find another board wipe or another Moment's Peace or something. Draw a card here. Alright, they conceded. So they didn't have much apparently, and we were just about to draw the Drowned Sorrow, which was definitely going to seal the game either way. Alright, we're against Barf, so going to be some fairy shenanigans. Dimir, so no relaxing here. Our hand is decent, but nothing exceptional. Play a Nutrient Block and then bounce the Garden. Get a Cycle Troll for a Swamp. I think that's a little better, because then I have 2 for sure, and I'll still play the block. If they Spell Pierce it, that's fine. They Brainstorm. A lot of times recently they've been playing, I believe, more of a tempo Dimir Fairies, rather than the traditional Control. Ooh, Consider's an interesting one. Bidding a Snacker. They might actually just be on Dimir Terror. I mean, Ice Tunnel and Consider and Snacker all seem to point that out. I'm not just holding up a Cast Down, so I guess I want a Lembus to just be countered over a Wellspring, maybe. Spell Pierce. I think for now, more black mana might be necessary. I'll play the Garden, though, because the Rot Farm could be good to pick up a Pajuka Bog if I can find one. Dimir Terror is the new hot deck, I will say. There is just a Terror. We get a Snuff Out, though, which means I can... I mean, they could have another Spell Pierce, but I might as well try for it, since I don't have much else. They have a Dispel, sure. I think we'll just Rot Farm, pick up a Garden, then. Well, with it being a Dispel, obviously playing a Wellspring would have been better, but... I mean, we got that out of the way, and now I can cast down the Terror, I guess. They have a Lorien. For the record, I played Dimir Terror against Food Pest at my locals this week, and I got absolutely demolished because they had Pachuca Bog and Nile Spell Bombs like turn 2 and 4 and 6 like every single game. And now, of course, when I'm playing this side, I can't find any of it. Yeah, I mean, I think I should just kill the Terror, play a Garden, Ponder. I haven't seen anyone else play Ponder in Dimir Terror, but when I played it, I thought it needed a few more cantrips, so honestly, I don't mind the Ponder or the Consider here. Fanatical Offering. They have counter spells for sure. What do I want to resolve? Probably the Heaped Harvest. I mean, maybe nothing resolves, but like I'll go for a Wellspring, see if they counter that. Maybe at this point they'll let these go. Heaped Harvest. Brainstorm. All right. That resolved. Swamp. No cat, unfortunately. Send a message. No cat, so I can't crack the Heaped Harvest right away. There's another Ponder. Swing for 2. Let's Fanatical Offering a Wellspring. That resolves. Fanatical Offering a Heaped Harvest. I mean, if things are resolving, might as well keep casting them now. We find a Spell Bomb. Not confident that's going to resolve, but we'll try it. If he is holding like one counter spell, this would definitely be something to hold it for. Well, I think I could Tithing Blade and then try to spellbomb everything away. All right, they do counter that. I still think I want to exile the graveyard now, so there are no more terrors I have to deal with, even if I'm not drawing a card from the spell bomb. Not great, especially because the snacker lives, but I don't know. Thought Scour, snuff out, consider into a ponder, you know. Obviously, you could still see some terrors this turn. Trying to minimize the likelihood. Definitely interested to know what they cut for the ponders, because like I said, I really felt like the ponders were necessary, but wasn't sure what to cut. They do ban a snacker here. Mana attachments. Swing for 2. Obviously, I'd love to fight a Bojuka Bog as well. And Thorn of the Black Rose. I mean, I have maps for the plant, so I can maybe take the Monarch if I kill the Thorn and map onto the plant. They probably have a Snuff Out, though, which isn't going to get any use otherwise, so do I actually want to focus on that? Maybe I just want to draw more cards. I could Pestilence here. Wipe the board. That's not great. Let's just draw 3. We get the Bog and a Spell Bomb. Okay. Cast Spell Bomb. Nothing there. Map onto the plant. I feel like they have to have a Snuff Out. Troll. We'll leave that on top. I mean, it's a little awkward because if I cast down Thorn and they just snuff this out, then I haven't killed the Snacker, which I could kill with Bojuka Bog or Spell Bomb. Snacker's also easier to kill with the Pestilence, though. So I think we go for that. Try to attack. They do snuff out. So do I want to... Eviscerator's Insight? Yeah. And then we'll Bojuka Bog them. If they have a Brainstorm for the Snacker, I can Spell Bomb. They don't. Campfire is good, because without a Campfire, the Snacker is actually being pretty painful, whereas with the Campfire, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, we are going to cycle one of these, because we need to hit the land drops. Campfire, I gotta hope they don't have a removal or a counterspell for the Pestilence. I guess let's start with a Lembas, then. Another Campfire actually seems okay. I'm gonna Pestilence. They have the counterspell. I will Campfire. A Thought Scour. We'll Campfire back to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 5 mana. So let's Nutrient Block. Crack it. See what we draw. Just another block. Okay. Well, I'm going to cast a Troll. If they don't have a removal or counter spell for it, it could be a way to take the Monarch, which would help. I feel like they probably will have a cast down. That's fine. Attack for 4. There's a Terror. Let's double Campfire. Go for the Throat. Let's force them to use a cast down if they have it, which they do. Nutrient Block. Crack that. Nutrient Block. I guess I want to cast this, or go for the Throat in their upkeep, which is 4 mana. Let's Rot Farm back the Bog. Go for the Throat on the Terror. Pay the Ward. That works. They have enough mana that I don't really care about spell bombing them for spells right now. I'd rather just save it for the Snackers. Although I have a Bog for that. So I mean, I guess I could Bog this. Alright, Pestilence. Let's see if they have the counterspell. They do. They have the counterspell every time they need it. Nutrient Block. Tithing Blade. Sure, that's something. Bojuka Bog them. I mean, Monarch makes them mill out faster, theoretically. Campfire, go to 17. Fanatical Offering, sack a map here. Another Bojuka Bog. I'll flip a Tithing Blade off a Troll. Not getting any value from the Bog, so might as well just play a Swamp. Take 4. Campfire, he's gonna attachments for an island. Play a Terror. Campfire again. Sepulcher, another Campfire. I mean, I've used 2 Pestilences. It might be time to... I'm gonna crack the Spellbomb actually here. Might be close to time to crack a Campfire to get these cards back into our deck, actually. That was a good draw. Insight, a map token. There we go. Cauldron Familiar. I knew I had some more good cards in here, we just weren't seeing them. Pass to their upkeep, cast down the Terror. Mystic. Well, that's a scary one. Unexpected Fangs on a Snacker. Yep, so they're gonna start gaining life. Fair enough. And they might as well just cast their spells because they're running low on things. Let's Viscer's Insight, a map token, Heritage Reclamation, make a guy, and pass. We do have another Insight to chump block. They're gonna snuff out our plant token. We will Insight it. Get the Pestilence. I maybe should have sacrificed it the moment we got it so that they couldn't have even snuffed it out, knowing that they might be holding one. We will block here, Campfire a bunch. Valorian Revealed. Gotta do what they gotta do. Try to get some more birds. Brainstorm. Have they used all their counterspells? I feel like they have, but let's make sure. 1, 2, 3. No, only 3 of them. So probably has another one to catch a Pestilence. I mean, they only have 3 cards left in their deck they haven't seen. They also play a Terror. Thinking about it for a little while. If they have the counterspell, I'm not sure what the consideration would have been. but we'll see. Maybe they didn't find the last counterspell. Brainstorm for it. Unless it's their last card, they definitely would have found it. And they do. I'm gonna bring back Cauldron Familiar here. I'm gonna sacrifice a Campfire to shuffle everything back in. And Heritage Reclamation to draw a card. Because we could find a Pestilence and just win. If not, I mean, it's not great. We have 3 turns to do something. Like, if I calculated all the life we could have gained from the Campfire, maybe we could have just survived enough, but fortunately I think we're gonna die if we don't get anything. I guess they only have 1 turn left because of the Monarch. We're at 9. Find a Lembas. That resolves. Another Lembas. I mean, we literally just need to survive a turn, so the life gain from these is pretty good. Another Cauldron Familiar. Block. Probably can do better. Heaped Harvest. That is better, because now we're gaining 13 life, 23. They shouldn't be able to deal that much damage. We have no swamps left. We also have a blocker here. Pass to them. They attack with everything. We'll block. We'll just go to the end step, and they have to draw for Monarch, and we win. All right. Close one in the end. Strategist those Fairy Macabres, Snuff Outs. There are Gurmags, but the Mystics look scary. I think Fairy Macabres, like the Snackers, are not actually that big of a deal because we have Graveyard Hate, and also we have Campfires to offset them, so I kind of think these are fine to be left out. It's possible in a matchup like Madness, we would want them for the earlier guys, but this hand is all removal, and then we have a Heaped Harvest, which if it doesn't resolve, might not be great, but I think it's okay. They do mulligan to 5, which helps, obviously. And we get a Nutrient Block right away, which also helps, because if this gets countered, we still have something to Fanatical Offering later, or Eviscerator's Insight. We will just bounce this so we have access to green. They consider Island. Let's just Cauldron Familiar. I can leave up Insight and our removal spells. Consider, get rid of a Thought Scour. We'll Insight the Familiar. They counter. We will Heaped Harvest. That resolves nicely. We'll play Campfire as well. Pass the turn. They tap out for Lorien Revealed. I'm going to crack the Heaped Harvest so I can get... oh, well, apparently I accidentally clicked through and did not get our Swamp, so that's pretty unfortunate. Bojuka Bog is a good draw. I guess while they're tapped out, I'm going to go for my draw. My 5-mana draw 2. Theirs is a draw 3, but... yeah, let's just Bog them. I could have played Swamp and then Spellbomb, but then I have to deal with creatures, and I'd rather... Like, the Spellbomb would get past counter spells, but I think this is probably better. Yeah, missing that land is definitely going to hurt. But I guess I should be more careful with my button presses. They get a Snacker back, milling a Steel Sabotage. Let's go for a Wellspring, play a Spellbomb, see if they want to do anything about that. No. Colony Garden, and we'll pass the turn. I'll swing for 2. We'll just take it for now. Abandon Attachments, discarding an Aquifer, Campfire, play Haunted Mire, and pass. They swing for 2, Campfire, Tragic Slip, go for Brainstorm. I'm gonna Tragic Slip their Snacker. In their upkeep here, I'm gonna actually go to their draw to crack the Spellbomb because they just Brainstorm, so they might have put things on there that they want to mill. And so we're gonna try to crack the Spellbomb, prevent any Serpents from coming down. I mean, I have a bunch of counter or removal spells in hand, so it's maybe not that big of a deal if they do get some Serpents, but if they get them for really cheap, like 3 terrors theoretically, and have 2 counter spells, then I'm going to be in some trouble. They do have the Brainstorm to get back the Snacker. We do have the Cast Down to try to kill it again, although let's draw a card here first from the Spellbomb. Try to make sure the Snacker goes away. They could counter this, but they might want to fight over keeping like a Serpent or a Mystic alive more. So there's another Snacker and a Spellbomb. I'll just crack our Familiar right now. Make sure to keep it on the field. Lembas is decent. Start with a Lembas. We'll keep a Troll. Play Heaped Harvest. This time we will make sure to get our Swamp. Play a Swamp for turn. Attack with the Familiar. If they wanted to block, then we have 2 foods to bring it back to get past the Spellbomb. I think the only thing we need to worry about that much right now is time. I am several minutes below. Trying to play faster. There's a Murmuring Mystic. I think we'll just try to kill that in their upkeep, so if they get birds, they at least can't attack this turn. Actually, I can play... I could play the Troll and both Cast Down and go for the Throat, but then I can't also activate our Campfires and things, so I think we'll just save these. Save this for a turn. Go for the Throat. They're going to Brainstorm in response. I could cast down the Mystic in response to the Brainstorm to hope they don't, like, if they don't have a counterspell, they can't find anything. But since Brainstorm's not actually countering our Go for the Throat, that just allows them to, if they only have one counterspell, like, you know, get some more work out of it. Or rather, if they don't have a counterspell, they would just, like, 2 for 1 us for no reason. I'll try to cast it down 2. That one worked. Okay. 2 birds, not the worst thing ever. We'll campfire, take 2 here. We have another troll. Let's cast one of them. They didn't have a counter spell for the removal spell, at least not one they wanted to use, so I feel like they won't counter this, but they could just have like a cast down for it. Attack with the familiar, trade with the bird, pass. We have a Lorien, another spell bomb. I'm gonna need to either activate the cauldron now or just accept that I can't do it proactively, which I think is fine, because then I get to hold both of their spell bombs with the cards in them hostage, so like they can't get more cards out of it. I don't know, seems fine to me. Take 3 here, we get a cast down. Definitely missing some card draw. We'll swing for 6 though, and that connects, which means the second troll might just be pretty good. Okay, they have the counterspell now. Although I don't mind them using a counterspell on that as opposed to like a Pestilence, but obviously we need to find that. Another Lorien, and a Brainstorm, and a Ponder. Doesn't shuffle. There's a Terror. There's another Terror. No attacks. Just gonna try to cast one of the Terrors down. Although I could get Spell Pierced here, which would be bad. Yep. It's always hard balancing, oh, I could get Spell Pierced versus like not wanting to waste all of our mana, because that was a lot of mana to waste, but I definitely should have waited till our turn, because there's no reason to give Spell Pierce any power. I say that a lot and then understandably sometimes get impatient and then give it power anyway. They left these back last turn to block the troll. Now they're attacking, which means they have another Snacker or another Terror or Gurmag or something to play, I assume. Otherwise they'd be attacking with these two. Yeah, there's a Snacker. Campfire, campfire. There we go. That's what I've been waiting on. Eviscerator's Insight on the Wellspring that's been here for forever. Even if they counter, at least I can flash it back. Pestilence is really good. Well, Pestilence is really good, isn't it? I don't even know if I should play one this turn. I mean, if I do, I have 6 mana. I basically just win the game because I can ping the Snacker. Yeah, let's cast 1. I can ping the Snacker off, attack with the troll, hit for 6, and then finish them off. So they have to have a counterspell pretty much. Yep. I could still play 1, ping the Snacker, hit for 6, ping again, Cauldron Familiar. No, I can't Cauldron Familiar proactively because that would lose me this. I think it's still good enough to just Pestilence again, because they can't kill me on the crackback. I get to put them to, assuming it resolves, they're cracking a spell bomb to try to find counterspell, because they know this probably loses them the game, which actually makes it so I get to Cauldron Familiar, so I could win this turn. Although, by doing this, if they do get the counterspell, I'm actually losing out on the Eviscerator's Insight flashback, which is a pretty big detriment, but it's always hard for me at the very end of the game, or really close to the game, to know if I should just go for more value or just try to win the game. Obviously, there's points where one or the other is correct, but they didn't draw the counterspell, and they saw the Pestilence was going to be lethal. Ping 1, they don't have blockers, hit for 6, ping again, and then with the Cauldron Familiar ping, that puts them to lethal. So it was a close one, fun match, but I ended up getting there. All right, here we are in the last round. We're on the play. 1 lander. I don't think we can keep a 1 lander. It's like the main thing we can't do. All right, 2 lander or 3 with the troll we can keep. I guess we'll get rid of 1 cast down, depending on how good they are. In the match, it could be wrong to get rid of that, but right at the beginning, you never know. So we're also going to sandbag the Bojuka Bog, because we could be playing against a matchup where that matters. And then I can cycle Troll for just a swamp. We can probably get our green source later. It looks like we're against more Dimir Terror. Dimir Terror is the deck right now, and I don't blame them. I've also been trying it out. This is why we're definitely keeping the Bojuka Bog. Tithing Blade is good against them, but I really want more lands and more card draw, because I don't want to use the Bojuka Bog until I have to. Unless I can actually get some good value out of it. Because like right now, I'm not going to get anything. I'd rather play a Colony Garden. And do I want them to counterspell a Wellspring or a Campfire? Or do I even cast anything? I think if they want to counterspell a Campfire, that's fine. We've seen the Campfire is actually really good in this matchup, so if they wanted to counter it, that's not unreasonable. But also not the worst thing for us either, since it's technically card disadvantage, the Campfire. Eventually, it'll gain you enough life to probably be worth a card, but also life doesn't equal an exact number of cards. So, you know, technically it's 1 card that doesn't gain us any more cards. They go for the Thought Scour hits Gurmag Island, unfortunate, and another Thought Scour hits Island Mental Note. 1 spell out of 4 is rough luck, for sure. That means they can't even play a 3-mana Terror now if they wanted to, unless they go for like another Thought Scour and hit at least 1 spell. Ice Tunnel. And this makes it so that our Bojuka Bog is going to get some decent value. I mean, obviously, it'd be more value if they had hit more spells, but it's okay. I'll just play a Familiar. I'm going to say it again. There's no reason, I think, to play a Wellspring this early where they could maybe Spell Pierce it, and then I'm sure I'll forget that later in the late game and regret it. But we don't have a ton going on, so let's not be hasty with our spells. We are the control deck after all. Brainstorm. Brainstorm and then Lorien Revealed. Ooh, obviously a classic combo, but not milling in this deck. Not being able to mill 2 spells over is definitely not what you want. Play an island and pass. Play Colony Garden. Swing for 1. I'll pass the turn. Abandon Attachments. Discards Deep Analysis. Brainstorm. Then they Thought Scour. Hits Snuff Out Aquifer. They can definitely get some 1-mana terrors now. There's 1. I could cast it down, but then they definitely have a counter spell. Then they're tapped out. Potentially, they could Spell Pierce too, which is always bad. All I get to do is Wellspring. Maybe I draw some more stuff. I think we might as well wait. Do this in their upkeep. Okay. Well, for now, we'll Wellspring, because now they're not going to want to counter because they have something to protect. So like Wellspring is probably going to resolve. Eviscerator's Insight is probably going to resolve. Unless they had a Spell Pierce. Well, actually, this one, I guess, once I've tapped it this low, I can't kill the Terror, but I think that's still fine. Let's just draw 3 here. I could have a Tithing Blade if they like fully tapped out, so just some stuff they might need to worry about. But they're thinking about countering it. But it resolves. I mean, I do want it to resolve, so I'm pretty happy about that. And I guess I'll just Nutrient Block. Not a big deal if that one gets countered. I have 1 mana for Campfire, and I can chump with the Familiar now. Alright, the Wellspring into Insight was really good. Also, we have Insight next turn as well. Probably what we're going to be using our mana on. I could have used another Bog or a Spell Bomb. That would have been the way to make that turn even better, but it was still a good turn. Suffocating Fumes, a little annoying. They're getting some value out of that because just getting rid of 3 chump blockers is pretty nice for them. In that case, I'm just going to take damage here. Activate Campfire. They do have Counterspell mana up. We'll just pass, though. We have 7, so we can bring back Cauldron Familiar, then sack it to the Insight, and we still have 2 mana for like another Insight or something. Bring it back with a Nutrient Block, because that gets me a card draw. Spellbomb's good. They're gonna Fangs. Well, it's a weird time to do that, because I'm about to chump block and not let you gain any life here. Should have waited until I blocked or not blocked, but obviously I was blocking. Tithing Blade is really good. I could Insight... Oh, there's another Terror. I'm gonna Insight the Lembas. I was thinking there's no reason to leave up a green mana here, because I forgot about the Reclamation, but actually I maybe should have done that because I could have gotten rid of the Deep Analysis. Although they probably want to counter this Spellbomb. I don't want to waste this mana, I don't think. So let's sack Lembas. Whenever you're going to sacrifice a food to an Insight, if you have a Cauldron Familiar in your graveyard, you should sack it to the Familiar first because you get an extra ping out of it. So that's always valuable. Ooh, Bojuka Bog, really good. Okay, so I probably Tithing Blade, they counterspell, then I get to cast down this Terror specifically, and then I get to Bojuka Bog, and we have mana up for the Campfire too. Or I could take 1 turn off the Campfire and I could get my Spellbomb down so that I can catch any snackers. That's actually probably better. Catch snackers, or if they just try to refill the graveyard really quick, or have counter spells for the Spellbomb next turn. Now I got it through that. I'm at 26 life, so I don't desperately need to Campfire every single turn, so I think this is fine. Obviously a very good turn for us. Heaped Harvest. Sure, let's cast that. If this resolves, it gives me another chump blocker from the Familiar, plus then I can Eviscerator's Insight it. Oh, it's so good. So much value. You go for a Brainstorm. Brainstorm on the Incept, then they Thought Scour, hitting 2 spells. I think if they want to play a 3 mana Terror, I'm fine with that. If they fill the graveyard more, I might go for the Spellbomb. Bring back Cauldron Familiar, get a Swamp, ping them for 1. I could have Eviscerator's Insight this, but I realized that I actually can just Fanatical Offering, and then I get to hold up Campfire, Spellbomb, and Heritage Reclamation, so there's a lot of reason to do the 2-drop instead of the 5-drop here. So that's what we'll do. 4 mana for a Murmuring Mystic, okay, and they pass. They have the mana to counter a Pestilence. Let's just cycle this Heritage Reclamation. Cast down. Another Pestilence. So if I Pestilence, 1 resolves, probably. Probably want to keep hitting our land drops. We'll cycle Troll. I think actually we just start with a cast down on the Mystic. If they have a counterspell, I feel like they'd probably try to save it, and then I get to Pestilence. Yeah, I don't quite have enough Pestilence to actually wipe everything this turn, but just resolving it means I can probably do it next turn, and then I also have chump blockers and stuff, so yeah, I'll be good. So buy back the Cauldron Familiar with the Nutrient Block, ping them for 1. Alright, we'll block the Terror. And if they have like another Unexpected Fangs or something, then I could just Pestilence to kill our own Familiar, so they still wouldn't gain the life. For now, it looks like we can just Campfire up on the end step though. Play a Nutrient Block, and I don't think I need to Pestilence in their upkeep, but let's just do it now. And they go to combat. Alright, Pestilence for 5 here to wipe the board. Go to their end step. so that I'll sack the Pestilence. We're going to try to keep it alive with the Familiar. They probably have a cast down to kill the Familiar, but that's honestly fine. Oh, and if not, the Pestilence just survives, and we can just kill them on our turn. So actually, now that the trigger's already resolved, I can also just Pestilence 3 times more on the end step. This re-kills the Familiar, so obviously I could have done this before, and that might have been smarter, but I wasn't 100% sure. If they had just had a cast down, I might have just wanted to Eviscerator's Insight the cat. And since it's still around, I can just finish him off here. All right, got that game. We should probably know what we're doing for sideboards now. I think it's just ignoring the snacker hate, like the graveyard hate, but bringing in more creature removal and taking out like one of each of these maybe. This hand seems decent. We might have to just bog right away. But the thing is, as long as we have a bog on the field, our Golgari Rot farms have the potential to pick up the bog, so that's always good. Or if we just top deck the swamp, then I don't actually even have to play it yet, which is even better. They Ice Tunnel and just pass. I will go for a Lembas. If they counter it with something, that's at least something I can catch with the Bajuka Bog. I already have a lot of card draw, but this is a matchup where card draw is pretty relevant. I already have my next land drop. I guess we'll try to keep the Offering. It's bad if they have like 3 counter spells that are able to just catch Offering, catch Insight and stuff, but they already showed they didn't have a Null and a Spell Pierce, at least not ones that they wanted to use, so I think that's a good sign that more card draw is probably fine. They had a Milling and a Null and an Unexpected Fangs. Spell Bomb. Colony Garden. If you have a Bajuka Bog like this, you should always use it after you've cast your spells, because if they counter something, you're going to want to get rid of the counter spell too. So I think I'm just going to Offering a Lembas maybe. And if I can catch even just like 4 spells, that's pretty good. If that resolves, I'm also okay with that. I could just play another Lembas. Maybe that's better. Sure, actually we'll do that. Hold these for like Wellsprings and stuff, plant tokens, etc. Nutrient Block seems fine. That did resolve, so I could let this go, but then if they fill their graveyard more, they could land a couple terrors, and I'm not super well suited to that. Like I have 1 cast down, I have 1 chump blocker with the garden, so I think I'm okay to just take away those 3 spells. They do go for a Brainstorm. They Brainstorm on the end step, and then Lorien Revealed on their main phase. Play an island, pass the turn. I'll just play a Nutrient Block and Gardens here. I can leave up a 2-drop. Oh, I should probably make sure to play my land before we go through the turn. I also haven't used the Campfire at all. It's just been a little awkward. I have all 2-drops, and if I use the Campfire, I can't cast one of my 2-drops like every turn. Although I guess here I should have maybe just not Nutrient Blocked. They Mental Note, hit a Snacker. They Thought Scour. If they want to crack their Spell Bomb or have another Mental Note, then they can get the Snacker back. They do have a Thought Scour. I don't have any way to get rid of that, and they hit another Snacker. Well, that is lucky. Could be a little problematic. Could be a reason to start using Campfire, or while they're tapped out, I could just go for a Fanatical on this plant. We have a lot of life gain. I think we'll try to, like we said before, try to ignore the Snackers. Obviously, a Fairy Macabre here would have been really nice, but it's okay. Double Campfire can just offset the Snackers, at the very least. Although if they play a bunch of Terrors here, we're going to be in some serious trouble. There's one. Let's Eviscerator's Insight a Nutrient Block to try to draw as much as we can. Troll is at least something. It's 1 land drop. We also get a Haunted Mire, though. Cauldron Familiar blocks, comes back a bunch, and then we have Campfire to activate, so we'll do that with our Haunted Mire. The block take 4, gain 2. We draw a Swamp. Let's play a Campfire, and then I want to activate Campfire, bring back Familiar, and sack it to the Insight, so I think we're just going to pass. Between 2 Campfires and the Cauldron Familiar, we can blank all 9 of this damage, though. That's the good news. Shuffle in a Lembas. Of course, they have a Spell Bomb here. We have another Lembas to sacrifice. I do have an Eviscerator's Insight in the graveyard, so I guess I could try to use that, but then I am not using the Campfires, and we already have enough card draw. I probably should favor the card draw, or the life gain here, rather. They'll draw off the Spell Bomb. Yeah, we'll lose the Insight. It's not my favorite, obviously, but block, sacrifice. They'll pass. We'll gain some life. Snuff out. Let's play a Lembas so I can get back the Familiar. More card draw. Fumes, pass. I said Fumes for some reason, because I was thinking about the potential of them having Suffocating Fumes. I feel like they probably wouldn't keep it in post sideboard, but it's possible. Bring back Familiar with the Lembas. Chump Block, offering that away. Pass. They do have a Gurmag. Campfire twice here. They haven't done a lot, so I expect they have a lot of counter spells probably. So it's hard for me to want to like snuff out, cast down these guys because they could just counter it all. And while I'm chump blocking, I'm still gaining a lot of advantage here. So I think we'll play Colony Garden. I can still chump block both of these with the Nutrient Block. Campfire, and then we can Insight. They do Abandon Attachments at the end step. Tap a little low. I could try to snuff out the terror. They have a counter spell, then I cast it down, but then we're using all our mana for that. Don't think I like that. Bring back Cauldron Familiar with the nutrient block. Block both of these. Eviscerator's Insight the plant, and we'll take 4. We're gonna snuff out the terror at the end step now. Paying 2. I expect they'll have a counter spell, but we do it before we activate Campfire so that we can play around Spell Pierce. And then if they do counter spell, maybe I can resolve a Pestilence next turn. Oh, that does resolve. Interesting. It's pretty good for us. Activate the Campfires. They do want to hold up counter spells for Pestilence and the like then. Alright, we're gonna Pestilence here. We have 2. I actually think playing 1 might draw out a counterspell, and then I can just cast down the Angler. Well, they have an Annul. They have an Annul, so let's go for cast down in the upkeep here. They didn't protect the Terror, so maybe they just don't have a hard counterspell. No, they do use it here. Fair enough. Spell Bomb. Definitely a little annoying, because we're going to lose 2 Eviscerator's Insights if they want to crack that right away. Although they are tapping low, since they used Counterspell this turn, now they're Spell Bombing. We have 2 Eviscerator's Insights and a Cauldron Familiar that aren't coming out of that. I'm going to Fanatical Offering here. We're going to not be able to use one of our Campfires, but I might need the mana for our next turn for Pestilence. We're at 7 here. Tithing Blade is not great. Pestilence, I have 6 mana left. I feel like Pestilence definitely needs a counterspell. Certainly if they have it. Well, let's try anyway. They do, which means Tithing Blade's really not very good. Let's just sack this nutrient block, see if we draw something relevant. Cast down. I want to Rot Farm the Bog. If I cast this down, I don't get to use either Campfire, but I'm actually gaining 5 by doing that, so I think it's worth it. Whereas if I didn't cast it down, I would gain 4, but I would take 5, so yeah, it just doesn't make as much sense. We'll take 4 here. They play another Snacker, and just pass. Okay, Lembas is decent, because it's just life gain. Cauldron Familiar is okay, although it doesn't actually block the Snackers, so I think I get rid of it here. We're going to try to Tithing Blade a Snacker and then Bajuka Bog 'em. See if that works. It did. Double Campfire, and I do Lembas, I guess, rather than just casting Troll. Mental Note hits Alorian, and they Fangs on the Snacker. Fair enough. A little more damage. We'll activate some Campfires. Take 5. They're going to cast Alorian. Tragic Slip. We'll cast a Troll. Rot Farm back a Bog and pass. They're going to swing. I kind of want to save the Tragic Slip for the better Snacker. So I could just Tragic Slip the small one, but I think we're going to wait until they, like, if they try to kill and succeed in killing our Troll, then I'll kill the big Snacker. I'll play a Mystic, or maybe I'll just try to kill that. Obviously would be better. Mental Note, Mills, Angler, Counterspell. That's all 4 counterspells gone. I also have a Terror, Tithing Blade. Well, Tithing Blade sucks quite a bit more now than it did a moment ago. Not really a reason to attack with the Troll, since they're gaining life and we're pretty low. I will try to grow it a little bit so it could eat a Terror. Cauldron Familiar definitely put into our graveyard. That's a good hit, because that's a chump blocker. I guess we'll map again. Go for the Throat. I guess we'll leave on top. I could Tithing Blade and then kill like the Mystic. Tithing's just so bad here, but is it really going to get better unless I get like a Pestilence and wipe the board first? Probably not. They're going to Spell Pierce the Tithing. Well, obviously I can pay for it, but they just get another bird out of it, which is going to help them kill us. I could Tragic Slip the Terror, but I actually have blockers for the Terror, so it makes more sense, I think, to kill the Mystic, since it is harder to block. We'll pass. Let's see, we can go up to 8 with the Campfires, so we're not dead to the Flyers. We're not even dead to Terror as long as we have a block from Familiar or something. They do have a cast down, so this is 11. So yeah, Cauldron Familiar needs to survive here. If they just kill it in response, we are going to die. But if I can get a block off, we can survive a turn, which we do. If I can get some card draw or something, maybe we can be okay. I mean, that's another chump blocker. Yeah, I mean, we're going to flip 2 Tithing Blades, I think. I think we're even going to use the Cauldron Familiar, because currently it's not doing us any good. If they don't have any way to kill our guys, we can chump block here, go up to 7, and we're gaining 6 a turn, and can maybe stabilize. A Brainstorm. I'm not even sure what we need. I mean, certainly like an Ichor Wellspring into Fanatical into a bunch of stuff would be our best bet, because the Pestilence is so close to being good here. Wipe 2 of these, but then we actually can't kill the Terrors, and then we die to them, because we won't have enough life to do that. Actually, no, we would. because we can go all the way up to 7. Actually, I guess Pestilence would be good, assuming they don't have a counterspell. And they would need an annul. Okay, Lembus is good, assuming they don't have a counterspell. Spellbomb is okay, but really it just wastes our mana this turn. I'd rather draw something different, I think. Lembus puts us to 6. This puts us at 10. Troll does not block for enough. Oh, so I guess I just die. So I block here, go up to 10, and I don't have anything else. I have no way to draw or anything. Well, it was close. They got that game. We're going to the last one. We're 2 minutes ahead, which could be very helpful for us. Just gotta play fast. Maybe Fairy Macabres come in for the faster game here, just so that I don't get beaten down by snackers or something. Alright, we have no lands, kind of, basically. 1 land. Perfect. This is exactly what we want for our last game. Alright, keep, I think just the Lembuses. Like, Tragic Slip might not do enough if we don't kill something early, and Cauldron Familiar is okay, but we just need the value, I think. Try not to get Spell Pierced or annulled. Mission failed. Nutrient block. I guess we'll try again. Alright, that one worked. Swamp is fine. I should have cycled the Troll first, because if I didn't hit a land there, then I would have had to use the Bajuka Bog, which I didn't want to, for just 1 or 2 spells. So I should have cycled Troll first, but in which case maybe I shouldn't have kept the other land, because now I kept the land when I maybe could have gotten a card draw spell or something. I don't know. They Brainstorm and then they Thought Scour in their upkeep 2 lands away, luckily. Not a lot of spells yet. It's 3. It could still mean Terror's pretty quick here. Even though they didn't hit the jackpot, I think I just need to Pachuca Bog them. It's because I can't deal with a couple quick Terrors if they had like more mental notes and stuff there. Gonna cycle a Troll to hit our land drop. I think I'm just gonna crack a Nutrient block to keep drawing though. Snuff Out's good. We'll play a Haunted Mire, I suppose. Snuff Out's good if we're just trying to survive for 3 minutes, which I would love to win in another way, but I'm just not confident that anything else is going to matter but time at this point. They do Brainstorm into Mental Note, Deep Analysis, Spell Pierce. Okay, pretty good. Cycle a Lorien, Spell Bomb, and it looks like they might Gurmag. They're going to have to spend 3 to leave the Deep Analysis. Okay, and I'll just cast it down. Wellspring's a good draw. Tragic Slip is fine. They have a Lorien revealed. We get a Snuff Out. They have Mystic Remora, sure. Yeah, we saw this as a sideboard card in Paupergeddon against the Control and combo piles. I do have enough mana, though. Even if they play a Terror, I could pay Ward and pay Remora for a Snuff Out. Although, obviously, if they have mana and then I get Spell Pierce, that's kind of bad. But can't do much about it. Abandoned Attachments discards a Spell Pierce. Well, that's the second Spell Pierce. Probably won't be another. And there's a Gurmag Angler. Well, I can't Snuff it out, and I can't Tragic Slip it yet. So, actually, that is a little annoying, because I wanted to do something on the end step there, so that I could have my mana up for the next turn with the Remora and all. But oh well. They didn't even cumulative upkeep it once. Okay, so I don't even have to worry about that. We'll block with the Familiar. Now I can Tragic Slip this turn. They do have a counterspell. We get another Cauldron Familiar, which they're going to cast down, which is fine. I could have activated the other one, but then they get to exile it, and then I don't have either on the field. Whereas this way, if they try to activate it, I can still just get one back. They have another Lorien. They are down to 1 minute, but theoretically, if they play the right cards, they could definitely win this in a minute. That is, if they play a bunch of Terrors and then I don't get the right stuff. I thought about not jumping last turn in case I drew a Tragic Slip, and I figured the chances were low, but I guess they weren't that low. I will take 5. Thought Scour. There's a Terror. There's a Terror. Well, they've already gone through Spell Pierces, so I'm going to assume they don't have one. So I'm just going to hard cast a Snuff Out here, I guess, because the life loss could be super relevant. Although I guess I could have snuffed one out and then Tragic Slipped. They didn't have a counterspell there, so I'm going to try to do the same thing in the upkeep here, and then I'm going to Tragic Slip with the last mana. Abandoned Attachments. Well, they could draw something, I suppose. Discards a Snacker. It still dies, so I will Tragic Slip this guy. They are about to draw and get back their Snacker, but they have 22 seconds, and now that they lost both their 5/5s, I'm not sure they can get there. There's a Terror, Snacker. We just get a Swamp, but they have to attack at least 3 times now. Seems tough. And we got a Lembus and a Cast Down, which should probably seal it, because even if they have counterspells, they're just not going to have time to interact with this. Alright, not the greatest way to win, especially last match, but it is going to happen with this deck. Well, after 3 hours, this deck is by no means fast. We did get a 4-1 with it, and we lost a match that, we lost fair and square, but we got extremely unlucky in the last half of Game 2 against our first of 3 Dimir Terror opponents. And then the next game, we just got really bad draws. So it's certainly a 4-1, but it was pretty dang close to a trophy. And I would say, considering that we were that close to getting the Terror This seems like a decent deck against Terror. Dimir specifically, I'm sure it's probably fine against blue too, but we went 2-1 against Terror, and it was extremely close on the last one. This deck list feels just really clean, to be honest. Almost every deck list that I build, I'm like, how do I fit this in and this in? And like, there's so many cards that I need to fit in. And this deck just feels like it gets to have it all. You're not short on removal spells. 4 Cast Down, Go for the Throat, Snuff Out, 2 Tithing Blades, and of course your 3 Pestilence. But you're not short on card draw by any means. 3 Eviscerators, 4 Fanatical, 4 Lembas, 2 Wellspring, 4 Nutrient Block. We even get to have 3 Campfires, 2 Spellbombs in the main deck. A lot of lists I've seen, it's hard to fit Heaped Harvest into the deck, not to mention Heritage Reclamation. It just feels like everything's really, really clean. Certainly off of this league, there's nothing that I'm dying to change, which is pretty uncommon. I'm usually pretty picky about some of my cards, but I can see why the deck did so well. It feels almost unstoppable sometimes. And I'm sure as I play it a little bit more and get a little bit better with it, it'll be even more unstoppable. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks to my $10 and up monthly supporters. If you want to support me on a monthly basis, go ahead and check out my Metafy link down below. Like my current supporters, Howard Granger, JDNPX, Halcaz, Cody Cowell, Sty, Benedict, and DJ Vinyl. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.